Yo, it's time to talk that sports talk with Cooper and Big Man.
Cooper and Big Man talking, people talking sports.
Time to tackle this beat. Don't ever count us out, cause we always kicking out. We go raw through people and put the smack down on the street. New desperados in town, we going all elite. Mess around, got a triple double on them. Sucker like OG slam dunking on them. We got what you want, we got what you need. We bringing the heat, we wanna talk this and that. But we want that Hall of Fame shot. You always see us swinging for the fences. So watch out, ladies and gents, cause we hitting the last stratosphere section. And you know we gonna keep you guessing. Tag teaming on these haters, singing up blessings. We gonna keep praying for you, cause you know that old saying, don't hate the player, hate the game. See, that's the thing that separates us. We're on that road to greatness, and there ain't no stopping us. We them go-getters, and we gonna go get it. Shut it down like a no-hitter with 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 away. We throwing that splitter, you never seen it coming. Something like an arcade, whoa. We gonna keep the crowd jumping. And if you ain't down with that, we got 4 words for you. Cause it's sports talk with Cooper and Big Man.
And every time I hear that song, it means it's time to play, baby. It is Sports Talk with Cooper and Big Man. Cooper, how you doing?
Doing good, brother. How's it going?
Man, it's been a great day today, my brother. We are having some fun. We got some football to talk about.
Yes, sir. Let's get down to this.
Absolutely. And today we are going to start with the NFL. First game on the board was the Eagles-Giants on Thursday Night Football. Back and forth battle that saw the Eagles ended up pulling it out late with a little help of a blunder from the Daniel Jones-led Giants. Poor Daniel Jones took off running downfield, had himself a chance to score an 80-plus yard touchdown, only to fall flat on his face. Oh!
Man, and only lose it by 1, dude.
Yep. That ended up costing them big time when Philadelphia came back, won that game late, winning 22-21. That was a heck of a game, though. Heck of a game. Philly gets right back into the division hunt while the Giants are sitting there kind of looking around going, we're still technically in it, but we're kind of like not. Right. This whole division is just terrible. All right, man. Next up we have the Los Angeles Chargers, I said it right this time, versus the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What a game was that for Herbert, man.
Herbert finally gets his first victory as a professional football player.
That's so awesome, dude.
This kid has been showing up great, showing out. He's averaging over 308 yards a game. He's averaging, I believe it's about 3 touchdowns a game. He's got a 12-3 interception ratio, so it's about 4-1.
Man, he keeps on this pace, he's going to be breaking records.
Basically, the only thing that's stopping the Chargers from winning is basically been their defense and their special teams. That's been killing them. They let Tampa Bay, led by the former Patriot, Tom Brady. The defense has cost them games. And special teams, they had to win. They should have won the week prior, with Bagley missing that field goal at the end of regulation. So, I mean, it's basically been on them.
What is it with kickers lately? Like,
I think it's gotten into their heads because the extra point got moved back. Now it's all of a sudden harder. It's not as automatic. I think their confidence is taking a little bit of hit, and it's gotten inside their head mentally.
either that or we just need to start signing women, soccer players or something, man. 'Cause
Maybe. I think the other thing too is because in college you're not really needed except to kick extra points anymore. Basically, it's really never been in the last 10 years. I've heard a lot of people like offensive linemen aren't as good as they were 10 to 15 years ago because everybody spreads out and you just pass block pretty much all day. The same with kickers. You're only asked to kick an extra point mostly now. You're hardly ever asked to kick a field goal anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually starting to hurt them too. Next up, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, speaking of the Buccaneers, demolished the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas 45-20. This game was supposed to be on Sunday Night Football, but got flexed out because the Raiders were having some COVID issues and they thought maybe the game might have had to get postponed. So they flexed it out of the Sunday night game, which we'll get to later. Brady's looking good.
Brady is always looking good.
I don't like it.
It just sucks.
It does. What I do like, though, is Gronkowski's getting into form. And see, this is where I believe preseason actually helps some players, especially if you've been out for a whole year.
Yeah.
You need gameplay to become game ready. We're now entering week 8. We've played 7 weeks. He's finally getting into game shape. So watch out. If Gronk is getting into game shape, you can forget about it. Plus, they did sign Antonio Brown.
Yes, so they're going to be unstoppable.
Darn near. Though it will take Antonio Brown a few weeks because he's been practically out for a whole year too. Relatively speaking, because of his pretty much unofficial suspension and then his actual suspension this year. Which I agree with Shannon Sharp. How are you suspended for 8 games when you weren't signed with a team for the first 8 games? Well, I mean, technically he still got one more game to be suspended, but it's like, how does that work? I mean, he worked it out with the NFL. The NFL is okay with it. So I guess we have to be okay with it. But it just seemed odd the way even Shannon Sharp on Undisputed said he didn't really understand it either.
Yeah, it just seems odd, dude. I don't get it.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll move on from that because that's just a whole nother can of worms we don't want to get into.
Yeah, not really.
Next up, your Pittsburgh Steelers remain undefeated. The only undefeated team remaining at 6-0, barely holding on against the Tennessee Titans, who came
baby,
back from 20 down.
We still won, baby. That's what's up. All right.
Yeah, speaking of field goal kickers, it took a field goal miss to not go into overtime against the Titans.
See, what I say about these field goals?
Yeah.
These kickers, man, I don't know what's going on with them, man.
And actually, this is probably a hard one because Gostowski is a New England legend besides Adam Vinatieri, of course.
But, it's just like you said. Maybe it has something to do with, game time.
Yeah.
And
they didn't get to kick pretty much. Yeah,
so,
I think that all this COVID
and not only
really
that, but training camps weren't the same.
Not at all.
So
barely were any training camps.
I mean, so everybody's feeling it this year.
Yeah, and but it hasn't. I was gonna say it hasn't really hurt Roethlisberger, but throwing 3 picks in a game isn't that great. But luckily they held on.
Yeah.
Though they did say that the last one was kind of a. It's more of a. It shouldn't have happened, but it did happen because it kind of got tipped around a couple times, and then the Tennessee Titans picked it off.
I hate when that happens because it's not really the quarterback's fault.
Not entirely, no. Not when it gets ping-ponged around like that. It usually does not. All right, we got next up Detroit Lions with the literally last second touchdown against Atlanta Falcons to win in Atlanta.
Ooh, man, there was some heat there, right?
There was. Todd Gurley got a last-minute touchdown, but he was trying to fall down before going in because the Lions had no timeouts, but his momentum carried him into the end zone with 1:06 left, and Detroit marched it down and threw a last-second touchdown, Matthew Stafford, to T.J. Hawkinson for their game winner.
Wow.
That That's not on Gurley. Everybody wants to be bashing on Gurley. That's on your defense. All you have to do is stop them.
Yep.
And keep them out of the end. You're up 6. All you have to do is
And
keep
not
them out of the
only
end
that,
zone.
but I'm sorry, it's the Lions.
Yeah, that too.
Sorry.
Matthew Stafford is not what he used to be at all.
No.
But they made him look like he was what he was.
Yeah.
And that's not good. This one was probably, I think, the most entertaining game of the week. We had the Cleveland Browns beating the Cincinnati Bengals 37-34. Another last-second touchdown, this time by Baker Mayfield.
Just crazy. This week was nuts, wasn't it?
It was. It was a game for comebacks. This was a back-and-forth battle. Bengals jumped out pretty quickly. Browns came back. Bengals seemed to have the taking control, but their defense again. Another rookie, Joe Burrow, who's showing if he just had a freaking defense, they would actually probably be in the hunt in the AFC North.
Yeah.
All these losses have basically been because their defense cannot stop anybody. And it showed this week. All right, and then we have the New Orleans Saints beating the Carolina Panthers 27-24. Again, a team that needs a defense, Carolina, and they're in the hunt of being a contender. Because Teddy Bridgewater's the man.
Yeah, I don't get it, man.
I don't care what anybody says. Teddy Bridgewater's the man. All right,
I don't get what's going on with these defenses either, man. It just seems like and even the sports analysts are going, I was watching that on ESPN the other day. They're just like, this is not the way, like, AFC North looks, any of that. They're just all just playing so shitty. It's like, what's going on here?
And again, I think, it's lack of preseason, basically. There was no real preseason.
And no, training camps, none of that, so...
I mean, luckily for Pittsburgh, your defense is already really good, so that helped you guys. That's why you're undefeated. And we'll talk about one of the teams that was undefeated, no longer undefeated, because their defense is also what failed them. Well, besides that, and their quarterback finally came back, crashing back to earth a little bit. All right, next up we have the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets at 18-10. This is just embarrassing.
Well, somebody had to win, somebody had to lose. And,
how do you win a game with field goals only? At least their kicker, I guess, made 8 freaking field goals. 6 field goals.
Hey, you think you'll be asking for a raise?
I would. I'm probably looking like the best kicker in the league right now because I made 6 field goals. I probably,
Hey,
I
somebody's fantasy football team's happy, right?
Someone who had their freaking Bills special teams / defense is ecstatic this week.
Yep.
All right, man. And then, of course, my favorite game of the week, even though my team did play on Monday night, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But my favorite game of the week was the Washington football team crushing the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, anytime the Dallas Cowboys get crushed.
Speaking of getting crushed, John Bostic freaking crushed Andy Dalton.
Oh, man, yeah.
That was bad. Nope.
Yeah.
News came down from the league today that they were not going to suspend John Bostic, even though he was ejected and penalized for the hit on Andy Dalton. He's getting fined for sure, though. He will be fined for that. And the suspension, I would have been okay with it. I'm also okay with him not being suspended. It's kind of one of those things. It's hard to judge a quarterback, especially one that doesn't slide very well, because Dalton doesn't slide very well.
Yeah.
What he's actually doing, and he has given himself up, and you just can't do what he did. But unfortunately, it's just one of those things where it's kind of hard. That's a judgment call. The Green Bay Packers pretty much demolished the Texans 35-20. Aaron Rodgers had a bounce-back game after an embarrassing loss to Tampa Bay. So,
yeah, I think he came back with a chip on his shoulder this week. So.
This is not my drink. We won't talk about that. Anyways, basically, Houston's looked like crap since they've gotten rid of DeAndre Hopkins. They have no one to throw to, basically. Don't judge me.
I'm totally judging you. That was bad, dude.
I didn't drink it, though.
Well, that's good.
I'm glad I didn't, because I would have vomited everywhere. All right, Kansas City Chiefs destroyed Denver in Denver, 43-16. A lot of defense helped actually the Kansas City Chiefs in this one, as they had a pick six and kind of pretty much had the game on cruise control for Patrick Mahomes. He didn't really have to do much. That's always a good day.
It's nice for him, dude, because when he doesn't have to carry the team on his back,
Yeah.
So.
Oh wait, I forgot. I also had another favorite game that happened this week. Well, kind of favorite. It's kind of yay, but because it was the Niners, but they did destroy the New England Patriots. You know how much I hate New England.
Yes.
I just sucks that it was the Niners.
We didn't like Cam Newton in Carolina. We definitely don't like him as a Patriot. So.
Definitely not. So the fact that they got smoked 33-6 kind of put a little bit of a smile on my face.
Oh, yes.
But still kind of a little heartbroken because it had to be the 49ers because, the division rivalry and stuff.
But at the same time, it's kind of funny, too, because Garoppolo and Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick's like probably thinking, damn, dude, I wish I had him back.
Probably.
So,
Skip Bayless, I saw today, was talking about the fact that he might have actually been the one who decided to skip out instead of Bill Belichick, the one pushing Tom Brady out the door. He probably saw the writing on the wall and went, you know what? This team probably ain't going to be good that year, and I don't want to look like crap.
yeah.
And said, deuces.
See you.
All right, the Sunday night game that got flexed into that position was the Seattle Seahawks versus the Arizona Cardinals, a game that went into overtime and won by Arizona. This was a fantastic game. I'm a little sorry that I didn't see it, but I was busy watching the World Series. So I chose that. I caught the end of it, got to see the game-winning field goal.
It'd be different if it was like one of our teams or something, but
yeah, I would have definitely been back and forth between the series and if it was either the Steelers or the Rams, because that would have been different. Unless, of course, I probably would watch the Sunday night game if the Dodgers weren't in the series.
Yeah, that too.
Because I would pick football over baseball World Series if it wasn't for the fact the Dodgers were in it. But nonetheless, Russell Wilson came crashing back down to earth, having 3 picks in this game.
Man.
Unbelievable.
Old Russ, man. We love him now. He's good.
The Seattle did get lucky because on one of those picks, which should have been a pick 6, Budda Baker got ran down by DK Metcalf, who's showing off his freaking physical physique and
showing off his speed, baby.
Running him down. And actually, they held him on the 4th goal line stand and actually held him to no points. So that's probably the reason why it went into overtime right there, just because of DK Metcalf's hustle.
Well, there you go.
All right, and then, of course, my truly favorite game of the week, Monday Night Football. The Rams played the Chicago Bears, and finally we looked like we might have been a fully complete team as we dominated the Bears all night long. We shut down their offense. We made their defense. Their defense showed up a few times, made some good behind the line tackles. We're having none of our jet sweep crap. They were all over our jet sweeps.
Oh yeah.
They were looking like the monsters of the Midway on those jet sweeps. They're like, nope. Poor Robert Woods went backwards a few times. He did get a couple where he got some positive yards, but he did have a jet sweep, which led to a fumble that led to the Bears' only touchdown. So that's the only reason why they had 10. Otherwise, we would have had pretty much pitched almost a whole shutout because we only had given up 3 points. The unfortunate news for the Rams, we did lose Terrell Burgess today because he had to have ankle surgery on his broken ankle, so he will be done for the year.
Yikes.
So that's unfortunate news coming out of the Monday night game, but we do head to Miami this week. I wish I could be going, but I do not have the money.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it last year, but with everything going on with the coronavirus and all that other stuff, we were like, we didn't get to go to WrestleMania, so why should we buy tickets for anything else right now?
Well, Miami's letting fans in, that's why. We would have been able to go.
But we wouldn't have known that, so...
Yeah. So next week we got an interesting one for the Rams. The Tua will finally become the as we mentioned last week, will be the starter.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
So we have to face him, and he has to face Aaron Donald.
Yes.
Aaron Donald may feast. Aaron Donald may... Hey, look, there he is right there. I hope this is timed up and that actually happened because that'd be funny. All right, man. So let's switch over to some college football. Scores. Get my scores back up. Let's get back on the right week, though. All right, from the top 25, we had number 14, Wisconsin, destroying Illinois in the first Big Ten game of the year, 45-7. Mertz set a school record for 5 touchdown passes, only to get COVID a few days later and is now possibly out next week.
Oh, crap.
That has to suck when you're the
Wisconsin Badgers. I just don't even know what to say about it, man. It's like,
yeah, that's where you're just like, what in the heck happened? All right, coming from Saturday, Miami, number 11 Miami, holds on to beat Virginia 19-14.
Are you saying that Miami actually has a winning season so far?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
They're 5-1.
That's just weird.
Yes. But some of their wins are kind of like, ugh. Especially like that one, 19-14.
Yeah.
I'm like, did we just jump back to the 1930s or something? 19-14? What kind of win is that? Number 1 Clemson, looking like number 1 Clemson, winning 47-21 over Syracuse.
Sunshine.
He threw another interception though in this game, which was a little kind of shocking, but they're still rolling.
I can't wait to see him come into the league, dude.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. I just have a weird feeling he's gonna end up playing for a team I don't like, and I'm not gonna be happy about it.
That's kind of how it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a team if I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. They need him, but when it ends up being for a team, I'm just like, you punks, like the Chargers who got Herbert. Like, could have gone anywhere else, but no, had to go to the Chargers. Punks. Alabama doing Alabama things, rolling over Tennessee 48-17. Remember, Tennessee was actually ranked in the top 25 once this year.
Was it only once?
Yeah, they've been free falling. Number 3 Notre Dame rolled unranked Pittsburgh in Pitt 45-3.
Oh, man.
Ouch.
Yikes.
Ohio State beat unranked Nebraska in Ohio State 52-17. A really close game we had at Oklahoma State, winning 24-21 against number 17 Iowa State. Almost got an upset there. But here is a great upset for you. Unranked Indiana at home in overtime beats Penn State 36-35 on a controversial 2-point conversion.
Huh.
A lot of people believe the player was out of bounds before the ball touching the pylon. Some believe the ball hit the out of bounds marker before hitting the pylon. I don't know. To me, you can't really tell. It looks good. It looks like it might not be good. You're like, They went with the call on the field, which was good, and that's how it stands.
Hey man, I really don't care how they replay everything nowadays.
I do like that they replay scoring plays though, because you got to make sure he scored.
Oh yeah.
You got to try to get that right. All right, number 9 Cincinnati ruled SMU in Dallas, 42-13. I was a little more hopeful for SMU than that, and they kind of just laid an egg on me. So, thanks a lot, SMU. BYU rolled Texas State 52-14. North Carolina bounces back after losing to Florida State last week. I still don't know how you lost to that game. Winning 48-21 over North Carolina State. Michigan rolled Minnesota. I don't know why, but I like Minnesota, and they just can't get out of their own way. Ever.
Minnesota, eh?
Yeah, I don't know. I like the Golden Gophers, man. I don't know what it is. I just like them, eh? Oh, we do have another upset. Number 23, not number 23, unranked Wake Forest won 23-16 over Virginia Tech. Number 20, Kansas State crushed Kansas. This is Kansas is like, we don't care. It wasn't basketball. Kansas State's like, we care because we love beating Kansas. 55-14. Marshall bounces back after a loss last week, winning 20-9. And Coastal Carolina, in their first time in the top 25 since becoming up. I believe this is the first time since they've been up in the division. Football Bowl subdivision. They won 28-14 over Georgia Southern. Gator fans, you're supposed to play Halloween Day against Missouri. I'm starting to doubt that because I heard that you had 6 more positive tests for COVID this week.
Yay.
So, not knowing for sure whether or not maybe they might end up just shutting down Florida for the remainder of the season. But good news, Pac-12 fans, we're less than 2 weeks away from our first games, November 6th, 5th and 6th. So hopefully no one gets COVID.
Right? And what I'm worried about too is there's a lot of false positive tests going on. So
Then there's that.
We really need to think about what's going on around here because, I think it has a lot to do with other things going on around the world right now.
Me too.
So,
Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll run around next week and we'll do some quick predictions on the top 25 and then we'll do NFL predictions. First off, I got number 1, Clemson, Boston College. Clemson. Absolutely. Number 5, Georgia at Kentucky. Georgia.
Yeah.
A little hesitant there, bud. Are you okay?
I don't know. Kentucky, sometimes they show out.
I'm sorry, I bypassed number 2, Alabama, who wasn't on this list in numerical order for some reason. Is hosting Mississippi State. Alabama. Number 3, Ohio State travels to Happy Valley to take on Penn State. This could actually end up being a chance for Penn State to exact some revenge after having that difficult loss this past Saturday against Indiana. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
I still think Ohio State pulls it out, though.
Yeah, probably.
He's like, sure. All right, Notre Dame travels to Georgia Tech. That's going to be Notre Dame. What do you think?
Yep.
All right, we already did number 5, Georgia. So number 6, Oklahoma State versus Texas. I got the Cowboys on that one. Oklahoma State is going to win that one. What do you think?
Yeah.
You good with that too?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. Number 7, Cincinnati hosts Memphis. Memphis is 3-1, so this could actually be a good game. But I'm still going to probably go ahead and take Cincinnati since they're at home. By a field goal. By a field goal. So I think Memphis covers the spread at 7. What do you think?
Sure.
Sure. All right. Number 8, Texas A&M hosts Arkansas A&M.
Yeah.
You're going with that too? All right. The man sometimes will deviate. Trust me, guys, he will deviate from me. Number 9, Wisconsin going to Nebraska. Oh, Wisconsin. Even without their quarterback, Nebraska's been crap. Are you picking upset?
I'd take upset.
Oh, he's going with the upset, Nebraska. Interesting. Very interesting, but crazy.
Well, you know.
Yeah, we know. All right, number 10, Florida. If they get to play next week, hosting Missouri.
Florida.
I'm going to take Florida over Missouri, too. All right, now, let's see here. Number 11, BYU versus Western Kentucky. The way BYU's been playing, I'm taking BYU. Abso-flippin'-lutely. Let's see here. Now I need... This thing should have been in numerical freaking order. I don't think number 12 is playing this week. Or they're playing somebody I already said. Nope, they're not. Okay. So, number 13, Michigan hosting Michigan State.
Michigan.
I'm taking Michigan as well. Number 15, North Carolina taking on Virginia in Virginia. Who you got? I'm taking North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, they're playing mad.
And Tar Heels, baby.
Some Tar Heels. Now, if this was basketball, I might pick Virginia. Kansas State, West Virginia. Kansas State.
Kansas State.
But again, if this was basketball, probably would have taken West Virginia.
Right.
Let's see here. So that was number 16. Number 17, Indiana, who's now ranked after their upset win, takes on Rutgers. Ooh.
I'm going to take Rutgers.
I think I'm going to take Rutgers too, since this is at Rutgers. All right. Number 18 was Penn State, so we're passing that one because we already picked Ohio State to win that one. Number 19, Marshall has been postponed after their game against Florida International. Probably due to COVID, more than likely. Do I have number 20 on here somewhere? Aha! Number 20, Coastal Carolina, moved up 5 spots after their win. Takes on Georgia State at Georgia State. I still think Coastal Carolina stays undefeated. What about you, Cooper?
I'll take Georgia State.
Georgia State at 2-2 to pull the upset. All right.
Yep. Just cause underdog status.
All right. Number 22, SMU going against Navy. I think SMU wins this game. Navy's 3-3. Hasn't looked good in a while.
I'm gonna take Navy.
Oh, see? Told you he deviates from me at times, folks. He will do that. He's a little bit psycho. No. Number 23 at 3-2, Iowa State heading to Lawrence. Yeah, that's right. Lawrence, Kansas to take on the Jayhawks. I'm taking Iowa State because Kansas hasn't won a game all year and looked like crap.
I'll take them too.
You're taking Iowa State?
Yep.
Now, if this was basketball, I'd be taking Kansas. And let's see here. That was number 23. Now, number 24, Oklahoma takes on Texas Tech, the Red Raiders. I think the Red Raiders will actually pull this upset. This is a game where the Red Raiders kind of pull out of nowhere, and you're like, you did what? Against who?
I'll take Oklahoma.
All right, see, we deviated this time, but I took the underdog. Well, you took the favorite. And number 25, Boise State, 1-0, goes up to Colorado Springs to take on Air Force.
I take Boise State.
Yeah, Air Force may be 1-1, but it's Boise State. This is a game they just always seem to win.
Yeah.
Like, all the time. So, there you have it. There's our predictions for the top 25. We're going to move on to the NFL to give our predictions on there. Next week's predictions. Thursday night football. We have the Atlanta Falcons versus the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers. All day, every day, and twice on Sundays. Because, I mean, the Falcons' defense has looked like crap, and Teddy Bridgewater will probably light them up.
Oh, yes.
And good news for the Panthers, I forgot to mention earlier, they may be getting Christian McCaffrey back this game.
Really?
Yes.
That's big news.
So if they get him back, watch out. Because good luck to them. All right. Excuse me. All right. As we mentioned earlier, my Los Angeles Rams fly clear across the country to come down to Miami and take on the Miami Dolphins. Tua's first game. My team is favored by 4. I'm actually going to think my team is actually going to give Tua some fits. Not being a homer. We do have Jalen. Jalen's finally looking really good. Like, really, really good.
And not only that, but...
We got Donald.
Yeah, and he's a rookie. And so... I'm taking the Rams on this one. I will say it's going to be a good game.
I still think we could.
I will say we're going to see some things from Tua that, we're going to be like, oh, but, at the same time, they're going to be able to contain him. So.
And this may be game of the week, which is why I'm surprised it hasn't already been flexed to the Sunday night game because no one wants to watch that. Because it sucks. But this game right here, Steelers, Ravens in Baltimore.
Oh, gosh.
Baltimore's favored by 3.5.
I'm taking my Steelers all the way, baby. We're going to win. We're going to do it, baby. Get out them terrible towels. We got this.
I'm actually thinking you're going to pull this one. I think you're going to pull it. I think TJ Watt is going to be enough to help slow down Lamar Jackson.
Well, thank you.
I think TJ Watt is due to have this game where he just keeps him contained.
Yes.
So, all right. So we're going to move on to the Bills, Patriots. Now, if this was a Tom Brady-led Patriots, I would have easily said Patriots. However, I'm going to take the Bills, but I don't think the Bills actually cover the points. So I think it's actually going to be a little bit tighter than that. I think the Bills win, but only win by 3, which doesn't cover the spread.
Yeah, I take the Bills too, just because the Patriots, they're shitty.
Yeah.
So
Next up, we have Tennessee Titans heading to Cincinnati. If Cincinnati had a defense, I'd actually probably give them a chance. But since they don't, I have a feeling that Derrick Henry, after losing this last week, is going to run all over Cincinnati.
yes.
I actually wouldn't be surprised. I almost want to say he'll break the single game rushing record, but I'm not going to go there yet. But he's going to come close. I think he'll be within 20 yards of the single game rushing record.
All right. Let's see what happens.
You picking Tennessee too?
Yeah.
Okay. This game actually could be entertaining. We have the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. This used to be a good rivalry way back when they would occasionally face each other. It'd actually be good. They did play each other a few times in the playoffs. The Raiders had knocked Cleveland, of course, out of contention a few times, and actually vice versa in the late 80s when they would go on to face Elway and lose those two AFC Championship games. I'm actually going to take the Raiders. I think the Raiders will give Baker Mayfield a fit.
I'm taking the Raiders just because I hate the Browns.
Well, then there's that.
So there you go.
Then there's that. Indianapolis travels to Detroit. I said the Colts. And I think they'll cover the 3 points. I think they'll win by a touchdown.
As long as Phillip Rivers plays okay, yeah, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, they just basically need to have him have a decent game, and they'll be all right. Let's see here. Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings.
Ooh.
At Green Bay.
Packers. You got to take the Packers on that one, dude.
Yeah, Packers.
Cheeseheads.
Cheeseheads unite. Oh my God, the slaughter game. The winless New York Jets travel to Kansas City to take on Mahomes. And
Can they just forfeit? They should just forfeit that game, dude. It's not even going to be fair to the team.
I say Mahomes plays 3 quarters and doesn't even have to play the 4th quarter because they bring in the backup quarterback.
That would be awesome. What if they bring him in like the 3rd quarter? They're like, we're done.
The spread is 19.5. If it's not Kansas City by 21 by halftime, there's something seriously wrong with Kansas City.
Yeah.
And I just don't I don't know. That's just bad. All right. We got Justin Herbert going to Denver looking to win number 2. This is kind of tough. Both are 2-4. Denver didn't look so good last week against Kansas City, but I can't trust the Chargers' defense or special teams, and it's going to be in the cold. Though Herbert can play in the cold, as we know, because it does get cold in Oregon. So, I'm going to say the Chargers managed to pull this out somehow.
Yes, me too.
But I just don't have enough confidence in it. I don't even think they're going to cover the spread. I don't think they'll win by more than 3. I think they'll probably win by Justin Herbert late touchdown that gives them the win by 1. Ugh, that's a hard game. It's so hard. It's just like, ah! All right, New Orleans travels to Chicago. Breeze doesn't do good in cold weather games.
Yeah, I'll
And
take
that
Chicago.
And that defense is going to be upset the way they played in Los Angeles, in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
So I might have to actually take the Bears in this one. I think it's going to be a bloodbath, to be honest.
I think their defense is going to kill Breeze.
It's going to be a low-scoring bloodbath. It will probably be a game where we're seeing a 17-14 victory. All right, next up we have the San Francisco 49ers traveling up to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks bounce back after that game. I don't think we see Russell Wilson throw that many interceptions. But it's going to be a shootout. I believe this game will be a high-scoring game.
All right, you take the Seahawks. I'm taking the 49ers.
Plus, I just can't take the 49ers.
I'm just going to do it. I'm taking the 49ers on this one.
All right. And then the laughing stock of the NFL weekend, a game that is technically for first place in that lowly division in the NFC East. The Dallas Cowboys travel to Philadelphia on Sunday Night Football.
Oh, Lord.
Can I just call a tie? It's so bad. Can I just say it's
Can
a
we
tie?
just say take a bye week, okay? And just call a tie. You know, everybody go home. Just enjoy your families. You know.
Washington took a bye.
Jesus.
This is such a bad game. I mean, honestly, somebody realized that they need to go ahead and just flex the Steelers-Ravens game into Sunday Night Football because this is a bullcrap game.
They might, actually.
They need to because this is a bullcrap game. I mean, yeah, okay, technically, yes, it's for the division lead. But you know what? The AFC North is a better division game, and it is for the division lead.
Yeah.
Because if the Ravens do pull that off, they're tied with the Steelers record-wise, but they had the advantage as a head-to-head. Or Pittsburgh wins, stays undefeated, and is a full game, and I believe that they technically count that 2 games technically ahead because of the fact they would have the head-to-head. So, well, actually it would be 2 games because the Ravens would have 2 losses, so it would technically be like 2.5 games technically because of the Steelers head-to-head factor. And then the Monday night game, Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel to New York. Oh my God, just kill the Giants now because they don't even have Eli. So that's a crappy Monday. Can we flex the Monday night game too? Get someone else in the Monday night game. God, that's terrible. All right, man, we need to wrap this up. We kind of ran a little longer than normal.
Yes, I agree, but don't we have one little thing we have left to do. We have a shout out.
That's next Sunday.
Is it?
Yes.
Holy crap.
This isn't baseball, bro. We're told them to do it on baseball because it was
that's
baseball
right.
trivia.
That's right. Okay, my bad.
But we do have a trivia that you need to do for Saturday.
Yes, we do have a trivia. Hold on, let me pull this up.
That we do have, but the shout out is next Sunday.
Let's see here. Hold on. Where we at?
Hold up, wait a minute. They're gonna get your call in a minute. They thought something else was about to pop off. They're like, whoa, what are they doing? Well, we're not doing that. We'll tell you that right now. Oh. Bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop.
All right, here's a trivia question for you.
All right.
It's about the WWE Money in the Bank contract holders.
Okay.
Now, 13 years ago, only one other time has the Money in the Bank contract been put on the line without cashing it in. Who was it?
Oh. So basically the same stipulations between The Miz and Otis is what you're saying.
Yes, and it's only happened one time.
One other time besides this.
One other time besides this time.
Huh. We're good at finding trivia questions where things happen only one other time.
So,
that's a toughie.
if
That's
you can
interesting.
come up with that for us, reach out to us on TikTok, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Anything. You let us know.
Let us know.
That way we can give you a shout out Saturday when we talk wrestling. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that will be it for us. We hope you have a good time. We know we did. And as always, keep on talking sports.